This is Cheyenne Valentine back today again with a new episode. Today's episode, I want to do a response video to Dineva's video. I think it's titled Black Women, It's Not All About You, or Black Women. I'm tired of this everybody hates black women crap. I think that was the title of the video. But anyway, I did watch the video a couple days ago, and I remember most of everything that he said, but I'm going to just discuss two of the things that he mentioned in the video that I wouldn't say a rebuttal to, but I feel like with black women, nobody cares or understands our feelings. When it comes to us, you know, they never stop to think why we react a certain way or why we feel a certain way. So I'm gonna get into that. So it's two things I want to talk about: the black mandated interracial thing and his viewpoints on how black women, you know, get upset about it and all that. I'm gonna talk about that, and I also want to talk about, I guess, to generalize, I think he basically was trying to say black women are always on the defensive, and maybe, you know, like I said, I saw the video a couple days ago, and maybe he didn't, I can think off the top of my head certain things that he talked about. Knows black women getting mad about black men dating interracially, that one thing. And that one really stood out to me. That one, I got a lot to say about that one. But it was another one, and let me get into it. I do think that just overall black women, we can be on the defensive. Now, I remember when I was in school, it was a white guy. I was a work study student like a long time ago when I was in college, and I remember my supervisor at the time, she was a white lady. I think she was racist though, and it was a young white guy that would come in the office, and he liked this one black girl that went to that school, and he started conversating with me, and I saw him kind of look at me, you know, kind of in a certain kind of way, but I don't know if he liked me. I'm not quite sure. We were talking, you know, joking around one day, and he said something to me. I swear I don't remember what it was, but I kind of responded like, "What you mean by that?" And he said, "Oh, I'm just playing." He said, "You know, black people, you guys are always on the defensive." And so I didn't go off when he said that. I actually thought about it, and he just really was, you know, in shock, or he not in shock, but I think he felt like he could open up to me, because I guess I don't come out very aggressive. And so he said, "You know, black people, you guys always take, you know, things offensive." And so this brings me to black women. Do I think overall we get offended by a lot, or we think that when things happen to us, oh, you know, you just don't like black women? I think it's 50-50. I think sometimes it is happening to us because we're black women, and some people don't like us. And I think the other half of the time, it could be that we are overreacting. But I'm not even going to say it's 50-50. I don't know what percentage it is, but I think it's a combination of both. I'm going to say this because I'm going to just use myself as an example. If there's black women listening to this video, this might not be you, but I know with me, I am more on a defensive as probably more than a white woman or Asian woman or Hispanic woman. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as a black woman, I grew up in the hood around people who were very aggressive and who did and said very aggressive, mean things to me. I had to defend myself. So when you're a black person, and whether you're male or female, you grew up in a hood around aggressive people in a hostile environment, if you let things slide, when you get older, even if it happened 5 years ago, you're still 5 years older now, you're going to look back and say, you know, I'm never going to allow that to happen to me again. If somebody come at me, if I even think somebody's coming at me sideways, I'm going to put them in their place. If I even think a person's trying to take advantage of me, I'm pouncing on them. That's what happens. You do have a shield up, and you do get on defensive. So a person could be joking with you, and you might say, "What you say? Hold on. What?" And they're like, "Well, I was just playing." You like, "Oh, don't talk to me." Like sometimes I think some black women and some black men can be like this because of how we grew up. Now, take a black person, male or female, that grew up in the suburbs, in a peaceful environment, 2-parent household. Let's just pretend like this black person wasn't being discriminated against by whites or anything. Let's pretend like they accepted them and all that. I guarantee you they would be less on the defense as me, because no one probably came at them in a negative way all the time. They didn't have to worry about somebody trying to steal from them, or trying to break down their self-esteem, or trying to get over on them, or trying to fight them for no reason, or you know what I'm saying? So, or nobody's just trying to disrespect them just for the hell of it. As a black person, you grew up in a hood, in poverty, something's aggressive and bad is always being being, how can I say this? Something's always happening to you that's negative. Maybe not every single day, but maybe every other day or once a month, but something's happening around you that's negative. Or somebody's getting shot or somebody's getting beat up. So yes, and like I said, even in the hood, even if, okay, someone got shot the other day, that's one aspect of it, but just the way people interact with each other in the hood, they're rude to each other, they talk down to each other. So yes, you're going to be more on the defensive overall. It's like I think sometimes as blacks we can be hypersensitive, but let's not negate the fact that some things that happen to us is because we're black. See, this is where we go down a slippery slope, because yes, as black, sometimes we can, as black women, this is about black women, we can be, more defensive, like, oh, what you mean by that? Or is this happening to me because I'm a black woman? And so we're more hyper vigilant. We're more sensitive to things. We notice things more. But at the same time, just because we notice things more and we might sometimes overanalyze it, that does not mean that it's not happening because we're black women. It could be very well happening because we're black women, and it is being perpetuated towards us. So I just hate when these two things get interchanged and people can't split the two and say, okay, yeah, we are, but and like I said, they expect black women to act like other races of women. Okay, that's like saying black men should act like other races of men. We have different circumstances. We've been through different things than other races of people. So you can't expect us to look at things the same. It's ridiculous. Now, this brings me to my next point, the interracial dating thing. And he talked about many things in this, but these are the main two things I want to talk about. So the interracial thing, this with black men and white women. And he brought up how black women, get upset. Okay, first of all, I'm tired of people saying that every black woman gets mad about the shit. Now, okay, let me start from the beginning. Do some black women get mad about this? Yes. Okay. Do some black women roll their eyes at interracial couples or get upset and all that? Yes, but I don't think it's a lot of them. I really don't. And maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I have been around interracial couples, and no, I'm not an overly aggressive, rude person, so I might act differently than other people. But when I've seen black men and white women, I noticed, but I didn't give a damn, because now I'm at the point I'm so used to seeing it. But what disturbs me about the Funky Dineva part, and I get his perspective, but as he said, as a black gay man, for him to be a black gay man and who has been discriminated against, you would think that he would sympathize with how we feel. So I'm gonna give you a prime example. In Job Corps, I mainly hung out. Let me tell you something about me. I love gay men, and particularly gay black men. I have a bond with them, maybe because they have feminine energy. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love them and adore them. I get along with them very well. So this is coming from a woman that has always had black gay male friends. In Job Corps, my main 2 or 3 friends were black black gay men, and I hung out with them so much that people thought that I was gay, even though they never saw me hang out with a gay woman. I hung around gay men in Job Corps that much. One of my female friends said they thought it's a guy that liked me, and he said, well, I thought that she was gay, and she asked him why, and they said because she always hangs out with gay men. I love gay men. Okay, I don't know what it is. I think it's they're a man, but I feel safe around them because I know they're not going to try to have sex with me and they have feminine energy, and I feel like I just can't I don't know, it's just I feel comfortable around them. So let me just say this first. Okay, now let me get to it. I had a gay male friend in Job Corps. Well, I told him, I confessed to him that I was about 19 at the time. I told him it would bother me sometimes when I would see black men dating white women. That particular union would kind of bother me. And he said to me, well, when you get past your prejudice or your hate and look past that, he made a comment kind of condescending, and it really pissed me off. It kind of reminded me of how Funky Dineva approached this. So, for somebody, a black gay male, to be as a black man, you discriminate against. Then being gay, you discriminate against. And as Funky Dineva said, being a black gay male, I could never understand as a straight black woman. And also just the experience of being a gay person, being kind of an outcast in society. So, okay, you have that plight, but yet you know how it feels to to be a certain kind of way and feel a certain kind of way and have your sexual desires and have people look down on you for it, but yet when a black woman comes to you and say this sort of thing kind of bothers me, you can't see why it bothers her. Okay, let me enlighten you, Funky Dineva, and the rest of the black gay men, if you don't know this. The reason why some black women get upset about black men and white women is because, for one, there's a lot of black men publicly telling the world they cannot stand black women, for one. Okay, so let me put this in terms. As a black gay man, Funky Dineva is in Atlanta. From my understanding, most black gay men in Atlanta date other black gay men. Am I correct? So for him to understand our perspective, he would have to experience the black gay men in Atlanta, a lot of them publicly saying they don't mess with black gay men, they only like white gay men, and then he has to see them on a regular basis dating white gay men, and then the white gay men and the black gay men all in front of him lovey-dovey, wanting him to see them, wanting to show out, fucking with him, because that's happened to me with black men and white women, where they, you know, especially the white woman, she wants me to see them together, or she's feeling uncomfortable with me around, or she want to make sure I'm looking at them and shit, fucking with me. Okay, so he doesn't understand how a black woman feels, because he hasn't experienced his the partners that he wanting something else and telling the world how they can't stand him. See, he hasn't experienced as a black gay man. The men that he go after in Atlanta are probably other black gay men, and I'm pretty sure when he sees most of the black gay men in Atlanta date other black gay men. I don't think the black gay men in Atlanta have to worry about a large amount of the other black gay men in Atlanta dating white gay men. I haven't heard that they had that particular issue. So black gay men don't understand how black women feel. Straight black women, heterosexual black women feel when it comes to black men dating white women. They can't understand how it feels to basically have your counterpart that you are sexually attracted to talk about you like a fucking dog to the world, date another race of woman, and put her on a fucking pedestal, say you're not good enough, say you're ugly, say you're too dark, say all this negative shit they say about black women, say this other race of woman is better, looks better, everything's about her is better, and then flaunt it, and then tell the world that they're better. And from my understanding, black men date out more, and this is what Umar Johnson said. He said black men date interracially 3 times more than any other race of men. So if this is true, and black women, we have noticed this. Okay, you expect us not to have no fucking type of feelings? You expect us to not feel no kind of way? Ain't nothing we can do about it. And when Funky Dineva in his video mentioned about one of his female friends, I think he said she was pretty and she was working out, and this one attractive black guy was talking to 2 other races of women at the gym, and he never talked to her. And then when he walked out, she followed him and asked him why he never came up to her and why he came up to the other 2 races of women. Now, yeah, I think she went too far with that, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with her asking him that, because she wanted to freaking know. And how would she know if she didn't ask questions? And he said he didn't know why he did it. Those women seem approachable. I do think, I will say, as black women, sometimes we don't seem approachable. A lot of us don't smile. And when Funky Dineva mentioned about us exuding bitterness, I think, yes, I do think a lot of us, a large amount of us do have bitterness. We do come off aggressive, unhappy. But it's a reason for that. I'm not saying it's okay, but a lot of black women have been through a lot, have been hurt, have been told they were ugly, have had bad relationships with black men, have grew up in poverty, have been discriminated against in the workforce. I can keep going on. Have been left single moms. I mean, it's a lot of reasons why black women have bitterness and anger. They don't have a place to turn to. They don't have a soft pillow to lay on. And when you turn, and I'm upset about this part of the video, because with my experience with some black gay men, you can't come to them about certain things. Certain things they don't understand. And that's okay, but why is it that you come to me as a black gay man, and even though I don't understand, you know, how it is to like the same gender or whatever, I never look down on you. I never say you shouldn't feel a certain way, you should like women. I never put that on you. But as a black woman, when you tell a person what you're upset about, as a black woman, when you express your feelings and give legitimate reasons why you're upset about this certain thing, people act like they can't understand your feelings. Like they don't care about our feelings, nor do they want to understand it. It's like, as a black gay man, I don't see how Funky Dineva cannot understand where some of his black female friends are coming from when they talk about black men dating white women. He possibly can't understand why they would be upset, considering black men are known to date out 3 times more than any race of men. And black men, from my understanding, are the only race of men that come out publicly and talk about how dating other races of women is better than dating their own. I haven't seen an Asian man do this, an Indian man, Hispanic man, nor a white man. Have some probably did it, probably so, maybe one or two, but black men are notorious celebrities for coming out and saying black women need to shaping up. I prefer white women, Asian women, Hispanic when they better than black women. How the fuck do they think that make us feel? That make us feel like shit. And so for a black gay man who has been discriminated against, and as he said is an outcast, for you to not even understand what we're saying, that's kind of troubling to me. That Funky Dineva can't understand where we're coming from in this area. And like I said, the only way he can understand it is if him being in Atlanta, if start next year, a large percentage of the black gay men in Atlanta start dating white gay men. See, Funky Dineva has not had to experience that, because Atlanta is full of black gay men that date each other. He has not had to experience an environment where a lot of the black gay men were choosing white gay men and bashing black gay men and saying that they wasn't shit, and they weren't about nothing, they was cheaters, and they this and they that, and they got diseases, and just saying a bunch of fucked up shit about them, and then running the white gay men. He will see how that shit feel then. But like I said, I'm not shocked by him saying this, because I came to a black gay man and opened myself up and told him that I didn't like, it kind of bothered me when I would see that. And he just basically didn't understand where I was coming from. He just said that, he basically flipped it on me and basically said I had a prejudice, and when I decided to get over it, and I wanted to bust him in the face, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell you ladies, and it's probably who's listening to this video, I'm gonna tell you why I think Funky Dineva feel this way as far as with black women having an issue with interracial dating. And I think it's the same reason that the friend I had, his name was Joe, the black gay male friend I had, why I think he responded to me like that when I told him that I kind of didn't like seeing black men and white women. It kind of made me feel some sort of kind of way. I think it's because black gay men have been discriminated against because they're black and because they're gay. Some of them feel like they've been outcasts in society. So they know what it feels like to be discriminated against and have a prejudice against them for them just being them. So I feel like as a black woman, when you tell him I have a problem, it bothers me when I see black men date white women, but not just a couple. I'm saying it bothers me when I see a lot of them do it, because you can always have some interracial dating, but when I see so many of them doing it and they talking bad about black women, and I'm still physically attracted to black men, that fucking bothers me, because they're like the only race of men that comes out and does this to their women. So it bothers me. I think when you say that to a black gay man, he has no sympathy for you, because he looks at you as like, he puts you in the same category as the people who has discriminated against him. Yes, he puts you in that same category because he understands being a person that's been discriminated against for no reason. So when you say you don't like an interracial couple, all he hears is, okay, you're discriminating against two people who love each other and who didn't do anything to you, and you have hatred in your heart and you have a prejudice in your heart. You need to get over it. I'm sorry, everybody. That's what I really feel, because how he kind of brushed it off and said, maybe these two people, because he made a comment saying, why is it such a big deal? Maybe this black guy worked in the same office with this white woman or Asian woman, and they was at the copy machine, got struck up a conversation, got into a relationship. Okay, fine. That's perfectly fine. But what is the excuse for these black men coming out saying they hate black women and white women are better, and they don't like dark-skinned black women, like Gilbert Arenas was talking about, Lupita, and like a lot of black men are colorists. Like he want to gloss over it that some of them are colorists and some of them are purposely picking other races of women. And while we can't do nothing about it, I'm tired of that being glossed over. I'm gonna do a video about colorism. I'm tired of them glossing over that some black men are colorists and some of them prefer white women and Asian women, Hispanic women, because they're lighter than black women, and just because she's a different race. They don't want to talk about that. They want to make it sound this is all in our fucking head. We're just making it up. So he kind of simplified it and said, why are you guys upset about this? It's not a big deal. Maybe they just two people found each other, and that's perfectly fine. But if black men date interracially 3 times as much as other races of men, and black men are coming out in public more than any other race of men bashing their women and then talking about their women's complexion, what other race of men says, like, have you ever heard a white man celebrity say that white women were too light? white women, they too fucking light for me. They need to be darker. You never, but black men will come out and say black women are too dark, even if that woman's the same complexion as him. You don't think that's a fucking problem? Come on, let's be realistic here. There is an issue. Black people have issues. We got problems. Some of us are colorist. Some of us hate ourselves. So we don't like each other. We're attacking each other. So for him to simplify like that and make it seem like black women are just being upset over interracial dating because we're racist and because we're prejudiced and racist. See, as a black gay man, he has a disdain for anybody who is prejudiced and racist or prejudice, has some type of prejudice against anything that's different than them, because he has experienced it firsthand as a black gay male. So when you as a black woman get upset over an interracial dating couple, he just almost like, get over it. Like, these two people love each other. Why y'all care? You know, you're being prejudiced. That's what he sees, because in his mind, he's been on the other end of it in society where people have been prejudiced against him just for liking the same sex. And that's what I think the real deal is. That's why black women, if any black women listen to this video, if you got a problem with interracial dating, don't go to a black gay male and mention it to him, because he doesn't understand you. Come to another black woman like myself, because I understand how you feel. I fucking understand. Just like if a black man has a problem with seeing black women date interracially, which most of them wouldn't talk about it, because not that many of us do it for them to like have a big shindig about it and talk about it, but they probably go to another black man and talk about it. But black women don't go to gay black men about certain issues, because they're not going to understand. And you would think they would try to understand and sympathize with us, because we have understood and sympathized with them, being a man who's some of them that's more on the more feminine side, and the things they have dealt with in society. And we have opened up our arms and love them to death and all that, and tried to understand the best we could. We can't understand 100%, but we tried the best we could. But yet, when it comes to things that bothers us, some of them don't understand. And like, funny enough, is not the only black gay man that has had this stance on black women having an issue. Some of us having a little bit of issue seeing so many black men dating other races of women. Like I said, the guy at Job Corps, he did that same thing to me. He was very condescending towards me. Me and him was friends. He made me feel like shit when I mentioned that it kind of bothered me. And he like, well, when you get up your prejudice and your hate and you look past that, I'm like, sir, I understand that you've been discriminated against, but I have a right. I can feel, I have these feelings for a reason. You don't understand how it is, because the men that he went after were black gay men who dated other black gay men. He didn't have to worry about all the black gay men he wanted, or most of them wanting white gay men and only dating him as a substitute till he get what he really wanted, was a white gay man. So black gay men would never understand how you feel if you have a certain feeling about interracial dating between black men and other races of women, or how black men talk shit about black women. They would never understand how you feel, and don't even go to them with that. So, you know, come to another black woman. See, we will understand how you feel. They don't understand, and you would think they would be understanding or try to understand where we're coming from, but they don't. They, for some reason, they're shut off. Some of them are shut off when it comes to this. I have witnessed it firsthand, and like I said, I feel they're shut off when it comes to this, because they just see you as being prejudiced against something, and they have been on the other end of it. Even though with them it didn't have anything to do with race, really, or interracial dating. It had to do with their sexuality and their sexual orientation. Still, they have experienced how it feels for people to just be prejudiced against them for no reason, and not just be comfortable with who they is. So when you say you're being quote unquote prejudiced against an interracial couple, they just see it as, they put you in the same categories of people that was prejudiced against them.